Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Manchester United 3, Everton 1. It was a lot. It was a lot closer than I think a lot of people anticipated tonight. Obviously, Everton went behind quite early. Went back to the 5 at the back. Excuse me. Not a good time to sneeze when you just started. Went back to the 5 at the back. And obviously went a goal behind early on, but then settled down after that. Got a goal back. Very fortuitous, of course, but Conor Cody was there. And I thought we had a nice feel to us. I thought we had a nice balance to us without really playing any decent football. We did what we did last week. We clogged up the edge of the box, and then we broke. And I thought we broke quite well until we got to the edge of their box, till we completely ran out of ideas. And it's something, isn't it? It's something that at least looks like it's a plan. What we saw on Tuesday night and what we saw against Wolves, the 4-3-3 or whatever you want to call it, it just doesn't work. It doesn't create chances. It doesn't get us going on the front foot. It doesn't get our best players in the right positions. And I thought tonight, Damari Gay once again showed what kind of a threat he can be. Now listen, is he massively frustrating? Yes. Because 8 out of 10 times, 7 maybe at best, he chooses the wrong decision, whether that be with his feet or with his head. But he is a threat. He makes people think. People don't like pace. They don't like people who change speed. We saw that at the other way tonight with Rashford, who I thought was brilliant again, and his change of pace helped create their second goal, or it did create their second goal. But I think Gray off Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a threat, is at least a threat. And we saw that in the second half. Obviously, you know, we've done all right in the first half. Don't get me wrong, it did feel a little bit like if a lower division team were playing Manchester United. It was very, very frantic, and we were, you know, holding on for love nor money at times. But the plan was working, at least the way I imagine. The way I imagine Frank Lampard set out, because it's not a fluke, because we saw it last week against Manchester City. Come out second half, and obviously, unfortunately, Iwobi on a counter-attack again, us breaking the ball up on the edge of the box. Iwobi he hits his ankle bends on the turf, very reminiscent of Richarlison's last season at Anfield, which Richarlison said that basically he shouldn't have played a lot of games afterwards, but he did because he strapped it up. But Iwobi was obviously in a lot of pain, and to be fair, Iwobi didn't have a very good game. He didn't have a very good game at all. But it looked a bad one. It looked a real bad one. Obviously with him counter-attacking and then going down like that, he went off, and 2 minutes later they've got the ball in the back of the net, and it's a good run by Marcus Rashford, as I said, and the way he changes pace, there's not much Seamus Coleman can do, and he puts it across. And Conor Cody, really, to be fair, needs a shout from someone behind him. He needs someone to tell him that actually he doesn't need to stick out a foot, because if he lets it go, Tarkowski can just put his foot through it and put it into Rowe's head. He doesn't get a shout. He puts a boot on it and it goes in the back of the net, and that's the kind of look Everton having at the moment. You know, and it is just one of those. It is one of those things. He does need a shout. He hasn't got eyes in the back of the head. Okay, yeah. Listen, should he be sliding in that position? He doesn't know what's behind them. You often look at them and go, why did he do that? But But then if he lets it go and someone's just got to tap in, someone will got to say, well, why don't you do something? He needs a shout from Tarkowski. Tarkowski's right behind him. And he doesn't need to do that. They're 2-1 up and you're thinking, right, here we go. The floodgates will open. And we brought Dominic Calvert-Lewin on. And again, we didn't go mad. We stayed in it. We kept ourselves in it. They, again, didn't have loads of clear-cut chances. They didn't make loads of clear-cut chances all night. Jordan Pickford had a couple of saves off long shots to deal with, rather than ending up close. He had a couple in the first half when it was 1-0 and 1-1, but, you know, nothing dramatic. I didn't blame Cody for the own goal. I blame Tarkowski for not giving him a shout. Dead simple. Players shouldn't be sticking the foot out in the box, but they also need someone to shout at them, whether that be the man behind them or the goalkeeper. Players don't have eyes in the back of their head. And we stayed in it, and listen, it's a lovely move. Seamus Coleman does fantastic for the goal itself. Burst through. It already been started by the flick by Dom, I think. Gray gets wide. He's a toe offside, and I know people go, well, you should keep yourself on side. It's very difficult when it's a toe. You're trying to hold your run. If someone steps up while you're trying to make that run, you can't check when you're already running, can you? So it's a good ball in. Dom puts the final touches. We think it's 2-2, but the minute you see the replay, you know it's offside. You know it's offside. This hoodie is a Toffee TV hoodie in our shop. ToffeeTVFC.com/shop. And it's unlucky, but it is offside, and there is VAR and all that. What can you do? In a way, that sort of took the sting out of us, didn't it? That'd have been 2-2 with 20 minutes to go or whatever. And that really did sort of take the sting out of the game for us anyway. You know, we tried to make some offensive subs. He put Gordon on, he put McNeil on. I'd have put Sims on. I really don't understand why he didn't give Sims a chance. I don't think we needed. I mean, Gordon's hardly had a touch and McNeil's hardly had a touch. I think we needed another player up front. I think we needed someone we could just start going long to towards the end of the game while it was still 2-1. I mean, it's 2-1 till 3 minutes into injury time. I'd have put Sims on and gone, right, Dom, you got a big fella up with you now. Let's go long and let's see if you can get the knockdowns or he can get the knockdowns, and put them under a little bit of pressure, because they'd made defensive changes. And I don't understand why managers do that. I understand you're looking for a better supply line. I get that. But I don't think this Everton team is good enough to be pissing about with it, to be honest. In areas where Manchester United are much stronger, they're a much better counter-attacking side than we are, by a long shot. And I think we should have gone long, but obviously they get the penalty. I don't know why. It's a soft penalty. Don't get me wrong. It's a soft penalty. It's a soft penalty. I'm not really sure why. Ben Godfrey had already made a great tackle on Rashford, I think it was. I don't know why he makes the tackle. The lad was going absolutely nowhere. I'm not sure why he feels the need to put a tackle in. I'm not really sure, but he does. It's a penalty and Rashford dispatches us. 3-1. 3-1 looks, I don't know, does it look worse than it was? I don't know. I think it was a spirited display. I don't think there was lots of quality, but I thought it was a spirited display. I think that's the way you play from now on. Doesn't matter who's in charge. I think that's the way we play. That's what gets the best out of our players. Onana should have seen a red. No, he shouldn't have. Onana, I thought, was probably our second best player. I thought Onana may have had his best game in an Everton shirt tonight. I thought he played well. I thought he played really well in possession and was a real number 6 tonight for us. Listen, Manchester United deserve to win. Can't say anything else, but I think it did. It did show again that we can be competitive when we are playing in that formation. And to go to Manchester City and Manchester United in a week and give both of them a good game, I think that proves that that's the way we should play. Is it enough? No. Listen, the teams that we don't have to sit here every time we do this, do we? And go, the team's rubbish. You have to look for positives. You have to look for what works and what doesn't work. I think playing 5 or 3 works for us, because I think the Marty Gray off Dominic Calvert-Lewin will work for us. I really do. I think his pace and Dom in the 6-yard box will work for us. Now, if we're playing Southampton at home, whoever the wing backs are have to be high, and that might mean if when we play Southampton, you don't play Seamus Coleman, who I thought was great tonight, by the way. I'm not having a go at him. What I'm saying is you mightn't play a Seamus Coleman. You might play an attacking wing-back. You might play Anthony Gordon. And you might play Dwight McNeil instead of Michalenko, who I thought was terrible tonight, by the way. And then when you play someone away from home, say West Ham, then you have Michalenko or whatever, and then you have Seamus Coleman back in the side, because you are looking at having a 5 then. So, but I still think that that's the best way we play, because I think it gets Damari Gray into space. It gets him into space. And one thing I will say is tonight, I did feel slightly sorry for Maupay tonight, because not only does he get the assist for the goal, but he made some good runs tonight, and people don't give him the ball. And I felt like, so it's dead easy to go Maupay's rubbish, blah, blah, blah. But he does make some decent runs that don't get picked up on. They really don't. So, and I think, it's up to players to find them. And that's going to be a struggle in the next few weeks as well, obviously, with Noah Iwobi. What do we do? Could you put Anthony Gordon in that position? Could Decore be the answer? He started slow tonight, and then once he got into it, he was starting to pick up a little bit towards the end. Seen a couple of people there in the comments saying, well, Michalenko could play as a third centre-back. Well, he could, but then you've got Ben Godfrey, who's got the patience. Ben Godfrey's an athlete. I don't think he's a brilliant footballer by any means. I think he's an athlete, but he has got pace and he can keep up with people. You've got Seamus Coleman, who can play a right-sided centre. We're not struggling for centre-backs, are we? But I do think that this formation is what we have to keep with. And if Frank Lampard is in charge next week, which we don't know whether he is, there's going to be all kinds of rumours coming out of that, because people said that, almost if he didn't win, he was going to get the sack tonight or whatever. I don't understand why it would be on that game when you think, you're going to Old Trafford and you're expecting to lose anyway. If we play Southampton next week, we are playing Southampton next week. If he's the manager, it's a case of players showed it tonight. They haven't stopped playing for him by any means. Players had the right go tonight. Whether the quality's there, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the problem with Everton. It's quality, and they have to make that up with hard work. On Tuesday night, we had no hard work and a lack of quality, and that's where we are at the moment. So you can't fault the players tonight. I think in terms of hard work, it was all there, and I think the game plan again was the right game plan for the night, like it was at City. So you got to look at those two things. There's just a lack of quality, but you can see, I at least can see with that formation where we can get joy out of against other teams. And I don't understand why the manager didn't play it against Brighton. I know we were at home, but Brighton are a really good side. And there's no reason why we couldn't have played like that on Tuesday night. We should have played like that on Tuesday night. Because it doesn't just bring out... It brings out... I don't know, there's a little bit more, isn't it? We play with a bit more hunger, a little bit desire. Like, the players like playing in that formation. And they don't really like 4-3-3. And yeah, listen, we can sit here and we can talk about it not being good enough and the club having standards and all these kind of things. Listen, the people who have the who who's supposed to have the standards in Everton Football Club, they have no standard. If they had standards, they wouldn't be at Everton Football Club because they would have to look at their own stuff. Stephen Williams on the Super Chat says if Lampard's future was based on the game, he shouldn't be sacked. Fair enough. But to me, that's the way we should play. I think the players dug in and had a go. They're just not good enough. They're just not good enough. It's as simple as that. That's why we keep on crying out for new signings. That's why we need signings. And that's why it's on the board, isn't it? It's on the board now to get Frank Lampard. Listen, whether you want Frank Lampard in or out, if a new manager comes in, he needs new signings. It does not matter. Those players we've got, we keep on saying they're not good enough. We need new signings. It's on them in the next week to go and get whoever. It's Frank Lampard at the moment, and I'll think it's Frank Lampard till he says otherwise. So he's got to go and get Frank Lampard new signings, because we had a few opportunities tonight when we got to the edge of the box, and we obviously made a mess of it. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Listen, I've said many a times, I'm not asked whether Frank Lampard gets sacked or he doesn't get sacked. For me, that's not the problem at Everton Football Club, because the problem is the people who are at the top of the club. It's as simple as that. If they don't bring players into whoever the manager is to strengthen this club, nothing's going to change. So, for me, we play this now. We continue to play this. I don't think there's anyone in our fan base who's deluded enough to think that we can play nice, attractive football and beat people. I think that is done. I think everybody knows. That. So yeah, we'll move on. We'll wait and see. Listen, I'll be back to do my player ratings. It's disappointing. We're at the FA Cup. Listen, you got a free weekend, and you got a free weekend at the end of the month as well. We're out the cup. It's another year, no trophies. Stick that on a banner or something. I don't know, but wait and see what happens now. But I'll be back in a little bit to do my player ratings. Make sure you check out Baz's videos as well. There you go. One thing I will say, the fans were magnificent tonight. Absolutely magnificent tonight in terms of you could just hear them all the way through. 9,000, much more noise than the Manchester United fan base. So well done to them in terms of that, in supporting the team. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll be back soon to do my player ratings. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in a little bit.